Steve, can you just describe your trading process in a bit more detail for the viewers?
Yeah, if I was to sum it up, I'd say it's pretty much a case of watching the market and a constant analysis of the market. Sometimes, well, I think like most people, I look at several markets. I look for what I think are opportunities. So I'd say constantly scanning the market, speaking to people in the market, friends, colleagues, gaining opinions, reading. So it's just trying to pick up information, data, news, anything that I suppose informs in some way, that gives me insight. And when I see perhaps a potential opportunity, something that fits in with my ideal sort of trade setup, I'll then zoom in a little bit closer and think, okay, is there something I can do here? What's the potential upside? Where's the risks on it? Does it follow a good risk-reward opportunity? If yes, then I might look at it. If no, then I might hang back, and I'll be constantly watching that for when it gets to the point where I like it, where it has a good risk-reward opportunity. And then at some point I will take the trade if I like it, if it comes to a good point. If perhaps a piece of news comes out that confirms what I'm thinking, some data, or even the market's just moved in a way that I'm thinking, oh, there's a favourable setup here, there's a good move, it's a good chance to get in, and I'll size myself. I would have normally, if not had it written down, at least planned in my head how the structure of the trade is going to be. Now, these trades can be usually days to a week or two. I'm looking for it to come to fruition. But sometimes I'll spot something really short term and get in and get out and book a quick profit. So there was one on the S&P earlier on this year. I had a very sharp sell-off, and I thought, this looks like it could be a base, looks like it could be a great risk-reward trade. I might make what I'm looking to make in a couple of days, and I think I made it in about 20 minutes. But so I thought, take my profit, it's hit my target, I'll take it.
I was going to ask you, I mean, is there a previous trade that you can offer that shows sort of how you do and what you do, specific?
Yeah, well, if I go back to sort of the sort of more medium, longer term trade, I think back to my last full year trading for a bank was 2008. My best ever year was 2007. And I can give you a quick run through, which was the best ever trade I'd put on. It was a bund trade. Now, I'd been watching the market for several weeks in, it was about April or May 2007. And I was looking for, there was a very large cup and handle pattern that formed over several months that I'd identified. And I thought this could be a great trade if it comes off. And with these larger patterns that take several months to form, I always seem to have 2 or 3 false starts. So twice I put the trade on, thinking that yields were going to rally, bonds were going to sell off quite sharply, and twice it failed to go anywhere. It started moving and then it came back, and I took a loss cut twice because I needed to keep I was really adamant this was going to happen. A, I needed to keep my powder dry. C, I needed to manage my, how much trading sort of gunpowder I had. And I constantly waited for an opportunity. I thought there's going to be a chance here where the market's going to break. I really feel it. And I watched this for about 3 or 4 weeks as this was occurring. And then we had some data came out. I think it was a Thursday afternoon. It wasn't even German data because I was looking at the whole bond complex. And we had some US data. It wasn't the employment index, I think it was GDP. And that should have sent yields lower, bonds higher. The knee-jerk reaction was to do that, but very quickly it started to come back, ticking the other direction. And it felt completely wrong. The market is not doing what it should be doing. And that gave me a feeling that the setup of the market is very bad. There's an imbalance here. It's set to go the other way. So I quickly put on as much risk as I could. I put on 50% of my allowable limit at that point. And within the next 15 minutes, it broke and had a huge move in the direction I wanted. I was already at break even on the trade with my stop loss. So I added another 50%, so I'm now 75% invested. very quickly that particular afternoon carried on moving my way. Again, I've already stop loss to break even now, and I added the final 25%. And actually, I tried to borrow some more limit from another office, which I managed to get only by using options, which gave me some extra leverage. And over the next week, the trade, it was just went, the yield soared, the bunds collapsed, and I made a hell of a lot of money. I made the entire year budget in about a week.
What was the budget? What was your budget?
$2.5 million at that point. So it was quite painful at one point when I had to get out, because it hit my target, but it looked like it was going a lot further. And this is where I think the discipline of many years trading came in, because, and I notice this with most of the traders I coach, actually getting out, exiting trades causes far more problems than entering trades. And people don't work on their exits. And a lot of people really screw up on exits. I'd got to the point where I decided I have to exit, but it felt really hard because the market looked like it was going to carry on moving a long way. But I stuck to my rules that I'd set myself. I took myself out of the market, and I sat there for about 2 weeks, anguishing because I was watching the market go up, and then it came back a bit, then it went up, then it came back a bit. In actual fact, I pretty much got out close to the top. But for a time, it felt like I'd exited far too early, and that was quite emotionally painful.
How do you manage your ego when you do succeed in a trade as like that?
It's one of the toughest aspects of it, and I can see that in a lot of people I coach. And again, I think experience has taught me how to manage my ego, and I think having discipline and structure is a very big, for most traders, it's almost like an ego curtailment rule. You know, a lot of people at that point in the past, I may have been keen to add. And I can tell you a lot of trades in the past when I've had a big move, I've added at completely the wrong time. And then you get married to a position, and you end up owning the position and owning the view and refusing to, and you can become stubborn and you can refuse to yield. And I see this in traders I work with, I've seen it in myself. I think all traders have this problem at some point in their career. So it's a real challenge, and I think the ego is one of the biggest derailers for a lot of traders. But it's also a driver. It's like with all these things, it's a driver and it's a derailer. Everything has pluses and minuses.